and this is a big thing to look out for, is a lot of times you go to hire that contractor, say for the $50,000 job that we're hypothetically talking about, and the contractor says, all right, great, to start tomorrow, I need 25 grand up front.
Yeah.
Right. And we've all heard the horror stories where, again, a contractor doesn't show up, he gets, through a divorce or arrested or just gets busy with other work or decides he doesn't like you. And now you've given him all this money up front. So what we do, typically, we don't do any large deposits up front. If we give money up front, it's usually for a very good reason. Like they have to go buy a bunch of materials because we're making them buy materials and we're not buying them. And so they're like, hey, I'm going to Home Depot. I'm going to buy $10,000 worth of stuff. And I got to get my guys on the job for the first week or two. Can you give me 15 grand of the 50, right? So like in that type of scenario, it makes sense to advance some money. But I would always be very hesitant to advance a contractor too much money, especially for labor that they have not yet performed. Yep. So usually in our contracts with the payments, we're very clear. If you're going to do these 5 things, you're going to add cabinets, you're going to do flooring, and you're going to paint. When you add the cabinets, we'll release $15,000. When you get the flooring done, we'll give you another 10 grand. Yep. When you get this last piece done, you get your final whatever, right? Yep. So I think that's how we prefer to do it. And you guys should be very careful too. Again, if you're paying these contractors, don't just do the thing, because a lot of them will walk in and smile at you and just say, yeah, give me half now and half, when I finish, or half in a couple of weeks. And sometimes you can get burned that way. So I would say space it out a little bit and make it based on milestones. So you're not just handing out money.
100%. That's a good point. What about change orders?
Well, change orders are another big thing. So change orders, well, first of all, here's the thing. Depending on what you're doing, if you're doing a remodel project, right? If you're doing new construction, change orders in theory should be a lot less or much more limited, because you're building a brand new building. You've quantified everything up front. Now, of course, in the dirt, you don't know what you're going to find down there. So sometimes that happens. But, when the thing that happens is when you're flipping a home, when you start getting into that home flip and you start opening up walls, you're going to open up the kitchen, or you're going to pull up the flooring, and they pull up the flooring and they're like, oh shit, well, I could never see this before we started this project. Now there's a huge hole in the floor down there, or there's rotten wood, or the plumbing's bad behind the sink.
Electrical panels.
So when those types of things happen, and they do all the time, then there's probably going to be a change order. But I would say this, with change orders, make sure you get them in writing, because contractors will be the first one to say, they'll call you up and say, hey, I got to do this extra work and blah, blah, blah. And here's what it's going to cost. And then it's, basically they're out there doing the work, and now they're trying to charge you all this extra money later. And what happens is you can get to an end of a project, and now you've got a base contract for that 50 grand, but they're trying to bill you 75,000, and you're trying to remember all the conversations you had with them. And you're saying, I'm pretty sure they didn't tell me it was going to be an extra 25 grand for all these little calls I got. So I would just say, 2 things. One, if you're doing construction, just kind of build in a little bit of a contingency or a pad. Expect that whatever your budget is, there's going to be incrementally another 10 or 20% potentially that you're going to have to pay towards surprises. But when those surprises come up, make sure that you slow down, make sure that they give you a price for those changes, and don't be afraid to shop them around if you think they're trying to gouge you midstream. And whatever you agree to, if it's 1 change order or 10 change orders, make sure you document each and every single one in writing, even if it's an email, if it's assigning an addendum to the contract, but attach it so that there's no chance of getting to the end where the contractor's saying you owe them some huge number and it was all verbal, right? Because that's the worst position you want to be in, because then you get into a he said, she said kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Having a solid contract and all these items addressed, slow is fast sometimes in the beginning. And then you can really go, because a lot of people will just say, oh, I've got a great contractor, go. And that's a mistake,
Well, and I think you have to look at it both ways, right? You don't want to break the contractor either, right? If you've got a hardworking contractor and they gave you a good price for the core work, it's not fair to them to say that you're not going to pay them for something that was a surprise that they couldn't see behind the wall, right? So you have to be open-minded to understand that with construction, you better have a little extra in your budget. But that doesn't mean you have to get taken advantage of. That doesn't mean that they need to overcharge you. And certainly any extras for the contract as far as change orders need to be in writing. Make sure you get it in writing.
And have them adhere to the schedule. Schedules mean everything. And more delays, more time, more money. Just, watch the schedule with these guys too.